I'm going to file a defamation lawsuit against Josh Hokett. What he said isn't just insulting to me personally. It goes far beyond that. It's degrading and it contributes to harmful stereotypes about Black women as a whole. My husband and I have always stood for equality, and we've consistently tried to support the idea of building an America where everyone is treated fairly, with dignity and real freedom for all. So for this kind of language to be said, especially at the White House, during the celebration of America's 250th anniversary, is deeply disappointing. It reinforces damaging narratives, and it's completely unacceptable and disrespectful.
Those extreme views were not in my White House. I wasn't embracing them. I wasn't empowering them. I wasn't putting the weight of the United States government behind extremist views. And that is when we have the weight of the United States government behind extremist views.
Breaking news. Barack Obama break his silence after Josh Hokett mocked his wife Michelle Obama. This time, Barack Obama is not joking, is ready to sue Josh Hokett.
Former President Barack Obama has broken his silence just days after a controversial comment about his wife Michelle sparked backlash during a UFC Freedom 250 event. Following his victory, heavyweight fighter Josh Hokett falsely claimed that Michelle Obama is a man, a remark that went quickly viral and drew criticism from many. Rather than responding directly, both Barack and Michelle Obama appeared to remain dignified and ignored the controversy. Michelle promoted a new project, while Barack shared photos from Chicago ahead of the opening of the Obama Presidential Center. "Chicago, it's good to be home," he wrote on social media. Meanwhile, the White House declined to condemn Hokett's comments, with spokesperson Stephen Chuang instead praising the fighter's performance.
Bro, that's my mom.
No,
Why
she's
would
not.
you say that about mom?
She's a man. She can't have kids, dude. There's no pictures.
She had me.
There's no pictures.
Why would you say that?
You got proof? Look at you. You don't even got proof. You don't even got proof. Don't even try.
What?
But nobody believes that you thought it was a compliment. It's an insult to everyone's intelligence that you would actually say something like that. You must be dumb as fuck to think that people are going to believe that those words were meant as a compliment to Michelle Obama, especially since everything that's coming out of MAGA about Michelle Obama is that stupid ass rumor. And it's not even a rumor. And you know it's not true. The woman has two beautiful children, more beautiful than any of the children that I see coming from you maggots, more beautiful than any of the Trump children that he has from I don't know how many different babies' mamas, and more accomplished than them. So it's Michelle Obama is obviously not a man, but MAGA has been saying that shit on the internet forever, and it's ha ha ha, Michelle, Big Mike, dumb shit like that. Nobody in their right mind believes that it is a compliment. And so it's not even that you should apologize right now. If I were you, I would just shut the fuck up. And if there's anything, well, maybe if there's anything that comes out of your mouth, it should be two words.
This was just a harmless joke. Don't make a big deal out of it, okay? I admit that saying it at the White House was a bit disrespectful, but why is everyone suddenly accusing me of racism and personal attacks? Every time I win a match, or even at other times I make jokes like this, it's part of my way of speaking, nothing serious. It's just that this time, the target of the joke happened to be Michelle Obama, and suddenly everyone started reacting strongly and criticizing me. People are really fixating on every word I said, even digging up things I said.
And Josh Hokett is still joking. He doesn't care what he did. He thinks that is right, because he wanted 30 minutes of fame. But it is causing him losing everything. People no longer respect him. Americans no longer respect him.
Well, okay. I'm very proud to be an American, no matter who the president is. And I think that that is important to spend some time on, especially as we head into the 250th birthday. The contrast was stark. I thought the flyover looked really cool. UFC is not my jam. I wouldn't watch it in the garden and don't want to watch it on the lawn. But Jesse's saying, oh, this is, about America's birthday, et cetera. It was not lost on anyone that you could only watch it on Paramount Plus, on David Ellison's streaming service, or that he's paying the fighters in crypto and it's the Trump family coin.
Paramount owns UFC. They own the rights.
If it's for all of us, they should have found a way so that all of us could watch. And you've got to mention, and I know you probably don't want to, that the guy who won at the end, that Josh Hokett, gets up there and says, Michelle Obama is a man. That was his final message. So you had a guy who vomited on himself during a weigh-in the day before, stands up there, Joe Rogan. Maybe he was paralyzed in the moment and didn't think, I should emphasize the fact that Michelle Obama, a former first lady, since we're talking about patriotism and paying our respects.
Obviously, Josh Hokett's a troll. You're a big fucking troll. And obviously, people can laugh at that shit all they want. But you are at the White House, and you are disrespecting a president's wife, and a president. So that's my take on that. Because you asked for my take, it's like the wrong place to do that. Obviously, he could go on a fucking podcast. So stop, bro. You know I'm right about what I'm saying. He did that in front of the fucking White House, bro.
Josh is saying it was just a joke. Would you joke like that on someone who is more respectable in the society?
I got to ask, what do you think of Josh Hokett saying Michelle Obama is a man?
I think it was probably the most unexpected and unintentionally hilarious moment of the night. The whole place kind of erupted. So I think you see online, like that kind of blew up. So,
It was kind of weird though, because, it's celebrating America event and then, she's part of American history.
Listen, you got to smile a little bit. It's funny. Just joke around.
That's the type of Negro. That's the type of Negro that I would not piss in his mouth if his back of his throat was on fire. Let me tell you something, man. I am not the joke police, and I am extremely inappropriate. I can be. I might have a dark sense of humor. I think anything and everything could be funny if it's told in the right spirit and told in the right way. So I'm not doing that at all. But this shit here, I want to tell you a story that I've never told this story publicly. Years ago, I think during Obama's second term, I was doing a show, and it was a redneck bar, and all the comedians were black. So we were only black people in this big ass redneck bar with 10-gallon hats and the shit kicker boots and the whole shit, which don't matter. I make everybody laugh. I do churches. I do, whatever. So, funny is funny. So the particular host we had was struggling bad. I mean, you know how it is, comics, when you struggle, you cast this line out, don't catch nothing, you cast another one, cast another one. It's kind of, as a comic, it's painful to watch. So at some point, I think the comic, I don't know, felt like, well, let me try this. And some kind of way made a comment about Michelle Obama being ugly and looking like a gorilla. The crowd erupted. Like the damn near gave the motherfucker a standing ovation. And so the comics like, oh, that was y'all like? And so they double down, triple down, quadruple down, and I'm in the back furious at the fact that you're not being funny enough to where you can find something else to say other than that. And then the fact that you feel the need as a black person to tap dance for these racists, right? Because of course they weren't just cheering, they were saying shit too. So I'm just leave it at that. Now, I'm not saying this to shit on this comic. I don't need no beef with this comic. I'm happy for their success and I wish them more success. But I'm just telling you the story. And this video jogged my memory. And I remember sitting in the back and I was talking to the feature and I said, I don't give a fuck if you can hear a pin drop the whole time I'm on stage. I'm not tap dancing for these motherfuckers. I'm going to tell my goddamn jokes. I'm not going to freaking go out there and do no racially self-deprecating joke to make them feel good about themselves. At that point, and I meant it, I didn't give a fuck if I didn't get paid because I wasn't doing it. I wasn't going to do it. They would not get that satisfaction from me. Now, I ended up going out there and I did well. I got the material. I did well. They enjoyed me. But I remember that made me so fucking furious, man. And I hate it when people do that, when people of color do that with white people. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm not the joke police. You know, if you follow me, you know my goddamn humor is dark. You know everything is funny. It doesn't matter what the hell it is, as long as it's told in the right way, with the right spirit, and told the right way. The joke is constructed right. So not that. But that low-hanging fruit shit to make white folks feel comfortable with you, you know what I'm saying? And I dealt with that shit my whole life in the military. You see those type of Negroes prancing their ass around the fucking ship and on the fucking base, and they turn into these minstrel shows as soon as they get around white folks. Like court gestures and shit. Fuck that shit. So, you know, and I know, you know, that I'm probably gonna get, you ain't gonna see him for long. I'm gonna get a lot of pushback on this video up under that. I'm gonna try to peel the meat off my fucking fingers to block your funky, useless ass if you come in there saying a goddamn thing about a goddamn thing in opposition to what the fuck I'm saying. Because if you in opposition to what the fuck I'm saying, I don't fuck with you no way. And I go for family. I don't give a fuck. We could be longtime friends. Keep that shit to yourself and stay the fuck off my goddamn post. This is goofy for black people to join in on this type of freaking hate toward Michelle Obama. That's crazy. Because as far as I'm concerned, and this gonna ruffle some of these hotep ass motherfuckers' feathers. As far as I'm concerned, Michelle Obama and Barack is damn near royalty. You say what?
So I'm sure by now that most of you have already seen the clip that went viral of the UFC fighter standing in the octagon on the White House lawn alongside Joe Rogan and saying that Michelle Obama was a man. And all I can say to that is, do y'all remember in the video where I said that I had nothing for the fighters that were taking part in this event and I did not care what happened to them? Well, there's exactly why. Because anyone who would take part in that clusterfuck that happened yesterday at the White House, in my opinion, is nothing more than human garbage. And we should never take anything they say seriously again. Now, I know there will be people who say, well, it was a big event and they were just collecting a payday. No, they put themselves in the history books. And they let us all know exactly what kind of person they are and the type of thing that they support. Anybody who took part in that event has no problem with all of the things that Donald Trump has done since getting back into power. And so I think that we just have to call it for what it is and realize that these people have no human decency. They have no spine. They have no, sure as hell don't have any intelligence or a thoughtful word to say. And so you can't sit here day in and day out and expect MAGA to ever do better, because I've said for years they have no bottom. And I remember the first time I said that, thinking at that particular time that whatever it was they had done at that particular time, you know, was about as low as you could get. And they one up themselves every day. And that's what they did yesterday at the UFC event. It was an absolute clusterfuck. And remember when I said that Donald Trump would be seen falling asleep? Well, of course he was. So, yeah, it just was exactly what everyone thought that it would be. And as far as Joe Rogan goes, you know, he's one of those people who, yeah, you can use his clips to start a conversation. But if you think he's ever going to come around and really call out Donald Trump, no matter what he says that you might find yourself agreeing with from time to time, he's always going to get his marching orders. He's always going to fall in line, and he's going to stand there and smile and laugh while someone shouts a racist, disgusting conspiracy theory. Because again, anyone who would take part in this event would have to be a piece of human garbage. And I am for the First Amendment, and they claim they are. So if they truly are, and MAGA truly is fans of the First Amendment, then this video should not offend them at all, because I'm just simply exercising mine. And so did a lot of other artists and entertainers who took part in an event that was called Rise Up and Sing Out. And rather than sit here and show you the disgusting clips from the UFC event, Donald Trump falling asleep and the racist conspiracy theorist asshole and Joe Rogan, I would rather show you two of my favorite clips. There were plenty. We could sit here and play them the rest of the day. There were plenty of people that stood up and said some really good things. But I was a huge fan. I always have been a huge fan of Robert De Niro. He's one of those heroes that didn't let you down. And so there's
the MAGA supporter or is in the MAGA movement. This is what the late Graham saying about Orchid mocking Michelle Obama.
Hey, Senator Jacob with TMZ. I just want to get your reaction to the UFC fighter last night who called Michelle Obama a man. I saw that you were at the event.
Not good.
Not good.
No, it took away from the event. It was a fun event. It was to celebrate America's founding and who we are as a nation. You know, it was sort of a modern day gladiators fighting hard and shaking each other's hand and the spirit of sports. That was not the spirit of sports.
So you were there. We saw you entering. What was your reaction when you heard
The guy was an idiot.
And when people were around you, what was kind of their reaction to something similar?
Fell on like groans more than anything else.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Get me right. Lindsay, the late senator, is a MAGA, but he's saying the guy is an idiot.
I did not fuck with Josh Hokett's comment. I didn't like it. I didn't like the whole calling Michelle Obama man. Like
former president.
Am I gonna chuckle? Like, yeah, am I gonna chuckle at how crazy it is? Yeah, sure. But it's like I don't fuck with that. Like, no, like honestly, man, Obama served this country, and you can have your differences of opinion with whoever the sitting president is, but like they are serving this country.
Michelle Obama. Well, this is all over X today. So this post says that Michelle Obama should sue UFC and this dude for defamation. Harry Sisson's even crashing out about this as well. So I just want to make sure I get this straight, right? Democrats and liberals really hone in on that First Amendment, freedom of speech, when they're talking trash about the president, calling him a pedo and this, that, and the third. But when something is said about them, it's defamation. So again, they jump online and they make all of these claims and accusations about the president with zero evidence. But something is said about one of them, and it's an issue. And they're up in arms about it. There's no proof that she's not. Just saying.
Breaking news. The Obamas are reportedly thinking about filing a defamation lawsuit against Josh Hockett, the UFC, and Paramount. This comes after Josh Hockett shouted, "Michelle Obama is a man" during the UFC White House event. Looks like Josh Hockett has now bigger problems than fighting Alex Pereira.
Certain people are untouchable. Or what they will call it in another culture, a made man, or in this case, a made woman. If you utter anything disrespectful about an Obama, it don't matter if it's the daughters. It don't matter if it's the wife. And the doggone doesn't matter if it's the president. As a matter of fact, I'll take you one another. If you talk about they dogs, it's in question. Okay? Slow down now.
Yeah.
See, them some good people right there. They served this country well. See, that was an innocent bystander.
Yeah, innocent bystander. That's the thing, boy.
And out of anybody that you could have dogged, you could have said, enemy sir. But Mr. Josh, you're going to stay away from that one. See, we don't play about that.
And a lot of people staying away from that. Even Dana White condemns the fighter's statements about Michelle Obama and said, I hate that kind of nonsense. Now, this is according to Variety, but it's been a lot of backlash on him since his remarks. And like I said, it's like he could have wrapped it up perfectly and was like, hold on, I got one more thing to say. Michelle Obama, man. It's like, well, where did this come? This is so left field. So,
be careful.
Yeah.
Slow down, big dog. I ain't the one that's going to make any threats.
Yeah.
Because, I respect everybody, and who knows if he was in his right or wrong mind. Okay?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, politics is what politics are. Whoever you vote for, whoever you choose, whoever you like, whoever you don't like is who you don't like or who you decide to vote for.
Yeah.
But be very careful and be very mindful. The people who you ain't cool with or who you don't.
Dana White does not make fights on fight night. He made an exception. He made a fight for Josh Hockett. As a matter of fact, in the biggest fight potentially ever on the White House lawn, nobody was getting on that card. They said, we're doing 6 fights and we're calling it at that. And then apparently President Trump comes to Dana and goes, "Hey, why is Derek Lewis not on the White House card?" And he goes, that's a good question. Let me find out. He goes, "I want him on the card." Mick Maynard and Dana start to talk, and then Josh Hockett goes out there and does that. Now, that fight is exactly what the UFC needed. And while everybody in the UFC media space has been a little bit harsh on the UFC and the matchmaking and all that stuff, the UFC has fully redeemed themselves as far as the Paramount era in the 2026 year that they've had with that single fight. And that's why they want to recreate the magic. I think putting Derek Lewis and Josh Hogan on the White House fight was the perfect call. Dana White should get some props for that himself. If Curtis Blades would have won, Derek Lewis would not be fighting on the White House card because they've already fought. And we saw what happened with Curtis and Derek.
What Josh Hockett said at Freedom 250 is the perfect example of fragility. What a strong, beautiful, graceful woman can threaten you into that certain level of stupidity. And it's not political, right? Because we obviously know where Dana White stands. Whenever the president goes to a UFC event, the crowd erupts. The fighters of all backgrounds get almost giggly that he's octagon side. And so it's not about political stances. It's about human decency and the way that you should treat people. They're about free speech in the UFC. You know, Sean Strickland teeters on that. Kobe Covington teeters on that. And what Josh Hockett has done is take a page out of Kobe Covington's book because he's such an average, unoriginal, non-extraordinary human that he decided to drape himself in stars and stripes and the red, white, and blue and be as discriminatory and disrespectful as he could possibly be. And so in the greatest moment of...
Let's go ahead and talk about Josh Hoke. Let's talk about him. Let's see if this is going to go through because this is like my second take of trying to do it, but they cut my sound off. But let's talk about it. Now, I don't know if most of you guys probably seen the fight at the White House. It was the most trashiest backwood thing that I ever seen in my entire life on the White House lawn. They was literally rolling on the White House lawn where they had to be separated by police. But while Josh was doing his fighting, of course, he won the fight. At the end of the fight, he made the wrong statement. He says, I just want y'all to know that Michelle Obama is a man. How silly can he be? How many people are going to believe? Come on. Now, you know Michelle say, when they go low, she go high. But she gonna get him. She is going to get him. So she was quiet for about not that long. She said that she's just going to have to take it on. She's going to have to just put it to him. What y'all think about this? Now, I don't know if this is true or this is allegedly she is supposed to be suing him, taking all his assets, his money that he made. Allegedly, they say she's going to give it back to a black woman charity fund when she get the money from him. I was like, go Michelle. But what y'all think about this? That was just a disgrace. Not just to black women period, for him just to get up there, make some absurd stuff because he shouldn't have said that.
For real.
Did you give something to President Trump?
Yeah, I had a card signed, one of my not UFC cards, but like one of my fighting cards, and so I signed it. I made a necklace out of it, and so I thought that would be a good gift to give to Trump.
Anyway, thank you for watching Mighty Great Minds Blacks. See you in the next video.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.